Donald Trump has a new target, the BRICS group of nations. It started off as a club of 4 developing nations, Brazil, Russia, India and China. Over the years, 5 more countries joined. South Africa, Ethiopia, Iran, Egypt and the UAE. So 9 members in total. The BRICS is often seen as an alternative to the G7, a sort of rival to the Western order, and Donald Trump doesn't like that. He's targeting a cornerstone of the BRICS agenda, de-dollarization. The idea is to reduce trade in US dollars and instead use local currencies. That is de-dollarization. Local currencies like the Indian rupee or the Russian ruble or the Chinese yuan. Donald Trump doesn't like that one bit. Listen to what he said on social media, and I'm quoting, "We require a commitment from these countries that they will neither create a new BRICS currency nor back any other currency to replace the mighty US dollar, or they will face 100% tariffs and should expect to say goodbye to selling into the wonderful US economy. They can find another sucker." A typical Trump threat. Adjectives plus high stakes plus Twitter post. But what's his plan here? Well, tariffs seem to be Trump's new favorite weapon, whether it's against Canada or against Mexico or against China, or now against the BRICS nations. Donald Trump says, promise to not abandon the US dollar. If not, he will impose a 100% tariff on BRICS goods. Suppose an Indian car is being imported into the US. The price of the car is $12,000. American importers will have to pay 100% of that as import duty. That means another $12,000. So the cost of that vehicle in America just doubled. That's how tariffs work. Now, how realistic is this threat by Donald Trump? Most of the BRICS nations have not reacted yet, but Russia has. They say such threats will accelerate the dollar's decline.
If the United States use force, as they say, economic influence of some kind, to make other countries use the dollar, it will probably further strengthen the tendencies to use national currencies. Dollar is beginning to lose its attractiveness as a reserve currency for a number of countries.
Trump's allies say it's all about leverage. He's not serious about the tariffs. He's using it to gain an upper hand in negotiations. They also point to the example of Canada. Last month, Trump threatened Canada with 25% tariffs. And what did Prime Minister Justin Trudeau do? He flew down to Florida and dined with Donald Trump. So his supporters say it's a winning strategy. Just 2 problems though. 1, BRICS is not Canada. BRICS makes up 40% of the global population, more than 37% of the global GDP, and 23% of global trade. And their leaders are not like Justin Trudeau either. They don't respond well to threats, which brings us to the second problem. Trump's tariff logic is flawed. He seems to think that tariffs will not hurt American consumers. They will only hurt the exporting nations. Listen to his remarks on the campaign trail.
Tariff nation, it's not going to be a cost to you, it's going to be a cost to another country. I'm not raising your taxes, I'm raising China and all of these countries in Asia and all over the world, including the European Union, by the way, which is one of the most egregious.
Yes, tariffs will hurt exporting nations, but they will also hurt American consumers, because they will have to pay more for the same goods, which is why this 100% threat is all bluster. It's a very unlikely approach. Having said that, expect roadblocks to de-dollarization. Donald Trump will make it a lot harder than Joe Biden. So how can BRICS nations respond? For starters, there is no unity on this issue. Russia and China are aggressively pushing for de-dollarization. The other members are not. Like India. New Delhi's goal is to globalize the Indian rupee. It does not want to target the US dollar, and Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar has made that pretty clear.
We have never actively targeted the dollar. That's not part of either our economic policy or our political or our strategic policy. Some others may have.
The dollar makes up more than half of all trade invoices, plus 58% of forex reserves. The share is falling, but it's still quite high. It would take decades to overhaul this dollar dominance, and that is assuming that all BRICS nations are on board, which they're clearly not at this point. So Trump's best bet is to work with like-minded nations. Many countries dislike how America weaponizes its dollar dominance, like cutting countries off from payment systems or freezing their dollar reserves. That sort of stuff triggered the need for de-dollarization in the first place. Instead of correcting it, what does Donald Trump do? Threaten more economic coercion.